guys, welcome back to another video. Alright guys, so today I'm taking a look at the Powertac Warrior G4-FL. Let's check it out. So the Powertac Warrior G4-FL comes in a nice plastic case. So you can see right there, yeah, max 4200 lumens. And right there, the ultimate lighting device. And right there we have some specs, but we'll go over that shortly. Turning around to the back side, we have some available accessories right here. Tells you what batteries it takes. Shows you the LED indicators right here. But once again, I'm gonna go over all that a little later on, but let's open this bad boy up. All right, so that's everything out of the case. So I'm gonna give you guys a nice quick look at the Powertac G4-FL. But before I start talking about the flashlight in detail, let's see what else came in the case. All right, so right here we have their engineered plastic holster. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of flashlight holsters. I tend to use the pocket clip. So let's just stick this in there real quick and check it out. All right, well, so there it is in the holster. And then of course you still have access to the tail switch from the bottom. All right, next we have a pretty standard lanyard with a metal clip at the end. And then yes, it is adjustable, so you just push this in, adjust it to where you want. And next we have the magnetic USB charger. I always like the cable that Powertac gives you. Kind of looks like a shoestring. I'm pretty sure I said that in my last Powertac video, but yeah, I really like it. And yes, this is the magnetic end, so if you want to charge your flashlight, there's a magnetic port. Just attach it as so and it'll start charging. Then we have this small envelope here with some stuff in it. So let's take that out, and I just ripped it. It's like we have a couple Powertac stickers, product registration, something about the battery. We have a keychain ring, a little miniature keychain ring, a spare rubber O-ring, and then the piece that goes over the charging port when you want to switch it from magnetic charging to USB. And then of course you have your standard user manual. All right, so now all that's out of the way, let's take a closer look at the G4-FL. So of course right here we have Warrior G4-FL right on this side of the tube. And then we flip it over to the opposite side, and that's where we see Powertac. Now this entire body is made from aircraft grade aluminum, and it has a Type 3 anodized finish. So the lens here is made from tempered glass that has a double-sided coating to resist scratches. And take a look at this pretty aggressive crenellated bezel right here. So if you have to use this light for self-defense use, that's gonna come in handy. And then I flip it to the tail side where the tail switch is here, and we still have a nice bezel here as well. So it can be used for front or backside defense. So you guys can see right here, it has this anti-roll cigar ring that is removable. You can see all the little holes here, and that's where you would put your lanyard. So I'm just gonna show you guys real quick what that would look like. Slip it on there, and there you go. And as I showed you earlier, right there is your magnetic charging port. Now that is removable. Now I will show you how to do that a little later on in this video. Now let's check out this body here. Now the website will go on and on about advanced ergonomic design with anti-slip knurling, but what does that all mean? Well, if I get in real close here, you can see that pretty aggressive texture right here. So all that does is it's gonna feel really nice in the hand while you're holding it. And does it? Well, first impressions? Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty nice. This isn't considered an incredibly large flashlight. It is a tactical flashlight, but would you carry this every day? For me, probably not. It's just a little too large for me to EDC this, but you know, it's all subjective. So right here, that little black circle, that's gonna be your LED indicator. So when this flashlight is charging, that'll glow red. And when it's fully charged, it'll glow blue. On top of that, it'll also act as a low battery indicator. So under 30%, it'll turn red, and under 10%, it'll flash red. Then of course in the back here, we have our on and off tail switch. And then one of my favorite features of this Warrior G4-FL is the side switch location. Usually you'll see the side switch up here somewhere, but this one is right on the tail cap. All right, so I was just talking about the size of this flashlight. So let's talk about dimensions. All right, so it has a length of 5.98 inches, has a bezel diameter of 1.437 inches, and has a body diameter of exactly 1 inch. And in the user manual, it says it weighs 152 grams without the battery. So let's test that out right now. All right, so I took the battery out. I'm just gonna see how accurate they are. So we got 5.3 ounces, and that is 152 grams. So they were spot on. But of course, we're never gonna carry this without the battery, so let's plop that bad boy back in there and see what it weighs now. So that's 198 grams, and that's exactly 7 ounces. So it's not exactly the lightest flashlight in the world at 7 ounces, but it's still pretty decent. All right, so what kind of battery does it come with? Of course, it's an 18650, 3200 milliamp, 3.6 volt rechargeable battery. So the Warrior G4-FL does have reverse polarity protection, so no matter which way you put in the battery, it's still gonna work. All right, so now let's get to its modes. It has 5 different modes plus strobe. So on their lowest mode, Firefly, it's 0.72 lumens, and that lasts for 60 days. And their low mode is 95 lumens, that'll run for 15 hours. Medium is 333 lumens, that'll run for 5.06 hours. Their high mode is 1430 lumens, that'll run for 1.23 hours. And then we get to the highest setting, that's turbo at 4200 lumens, and that'll run for 1.23 hours as well. And then we get to the one special mode, that's strobe. That's 830 lumens, and that'll run for 3.05 hours. Now let's talk about another one of my favorite features of Powertac, and that's their user interface. So back here is our tail switch, and of course we have a 1-click on and 1-click off. But then we have a silent tactical mode where all we have to do is give that tail switch a nice little half press, and it makes no noise at all. So it's either a half press or a hard press click on, and that's how we activate the flashlight. But I say this is one of my favorite user interfaces just because it's a single click on the side switch to switch the modes. So there's our Firefly, single click again, there's low, medium, high, and our 4200 lumen turbo. So it's just so easy to click through these modes as so. And this does have auto memory, so all we have to do is turn off the tail switch, click it back on, and it's right at the same mode we left off at. It even supports Firefly, so I'll put it on Firefly right here, turn it off, turn it back on, Firefly. And one of the coolest features of this light is one-touch strobe. So when the flashlight is on, as you can see, we can hold down the side switch, and that's our strobe. We turn it off, turn it back on, and it still remembers our strobe. But check this out, if we turn it off, all we have to do is hold down that side switch, instant strobe. So we have a one-touch instant access to strobe right from that side switch. And I love the location of the side switch. It's just a perfect location. If I hold it like this, click the tail switch on, and all I have to do is cycle through the modes using that side switch, and my forefinger is in a perfect position to hit that. So this is why I say that side switch is in a better location than up here near the head, because it just feels so natural. All I have to do is just hold it like this, and I'm switching through my modes with my finger. Now watch how easy this is to access strobe for defense. So just pick it up, it can be off, instant, strobe. This is one of the easiest user interfaces I have ever used. All right, so let's talk about some of the standards here. Of course, I already mentioned it has a max lumen output of 4200 lumens. It has a max throw of 214 meters. That's 787 feet. And it has 11,449 candela. So with a max throw of 214 meters and 11,449 candela, it doesn't really throw light that great, but this light isn't really advertising throw. It's advertising as a floodlight. Hence, that's where the FL comes from in G4-FL. Now, this is 2 meter impact resistant and does have an IP rating of IPX8. So let's drop this in some water and test that out. All right, so right here I have about 7 inches of water, and if this is IPX8 rated, it should be able to handle this no problem. So let's turn this on, turn it up a little bit so we can see it, and just drop it in there. Sinks right to the bottom every time. So as expected, it's going to be able to handle 7 inches of water, no problem at all. Now in my last Powertac video, someone in my comments section asked, if we take out this magnetic charging port, is it still waterproof? Now I'm going to test that out in this video, but not until I take this outside and show you guys what this looks like in my backyard. Just in case if it doesn't work, I don't want to have to ruin the flashlight and have nothing to show you. All right, so the next thing I like to do here on this channel is just to see how hot this head gets after it's been running on turbo for some time. So I have my stopwatch here. I'm gonna put this on turbo for a couple minutes, come back, and then take its temperature. So let's see where it's at right now. So the head is right around 67.1 degrees. So let's click this on turbo and see you guys in 2 minutes. All right, so right there, it's about 2 minutes. So let's take the temperature at the head. Wow, only 87.2. So let me do that again. Right there in the middle of the head, it's reading at 94.2, but at the very end there, it's only right there about 88.5. So that's really interesting. So usually you get more of the heat at the very edge of the bezel here, but this time it's a lot hotter right dead center of the head. So even so, that's not very hot at all. I'm pretty impressed by the heat distribution on this flashlight. Now, one of the last things I want to show you before taking this outside and demonstrating the light in my backyard is how it charges. Now, I know I showed you this at the beginning of this video, but all you have to do is take this magnetic charging cable, click it to the port, and there you go. Now the LED indicator will stay a solid red when it is charging. When it's fully charged, it'll stay a solid blue. And one of the nice things about Powertac is, say for example, you leave this magnetic charging cable at home and you're running low on juice on your flashlight, but that's not a problem at all. Just basically take any little thing to pry open this charging port here, lift that up and out, and you can use any common micro USB. I know that's one of the biggest complaints with magnetic chargers is, say for example, you lose it or you just forget about it. So Powertac was smart enough to think about that. You just remove the magnetic charging port, plug in any micro USB, and you're good to go. But this is what I wanted to test out to see if this was waterproof or not. So I'm gonna go outside, test this light out, come back in and see if this is waterproof when this little thing is removed. Alright guys, now it's time to test out to see if this thing is waterproof with the magnetic charging port taken out of it. So basically right now, you just see a bare micro USB port right there. So let's turn this on so we can see what we're doing, and let's hope we don't fry this thing. So let's drop it in. Alright. Well, it still seems to be working here. As you can see, it's still on. Put it back in. So let's sit there for a minute. Well, it's been about 30 seconds, and if it was gonna short out, it would have done it by now. So there you go, that answers that. So it is waterproof, even with the magnetic charging port out of it. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you guys think of the Powertac G4-FL? Overall, on a scale from 1 to 5, I'd have to give this a 4. Even though the size of this flashlight is just over an EDC for me, it's still a pretty nice size to still carry around. Powertac has one of the best UIs in the game right now. Easy one-click on and off. Side switch right here is right on the tail cap. It's perfect. I love that it has a nice aggressive bezel here in the front. I love the bezel on the back. Now, all this doesn't come cheap. Powertac is asking $199.95 for this flashlight, but I do have a special code for you guys. It is CT40. So if you are interested in this Warrior G4-FL, you can get it for 40% off. So I will leave a link and that code in my description box below. Make sure you snag that 40% off, and at the same time, when you use that code, I get a small little kickback. So you get yourself a pretty nice flashlight and you support the channel. It's a win-win. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe and go!